Why do some people consistently make decisions they later regret, while others seem to navigate life with unwavering clarity? The difference often comes down to their understanding of the relationship between values, virtues, and principles, and how to use this framework for principled action. We're going to get into the weeds on these three concepts today. With these clarified, you'll be able to make better choices in any aspect of your life. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Self-Control from Fitness to Flourishing. Principled action, that is, action based on your conscious, honest understanding of reality, is the only consistently effective action. Principled action yields long-range success because it also aligns our daily choices with our highest values. First, let's define our terms. Value, that which one acts to attain and or maintain. This is the motive power in your life. With your values held clearly and with commitment, you can better create the quality of life you prefer. Virtue, the principled action by which one attains and or maintains a value. A virtue is a value operationalized, that is, your values enacted. And finally, principle, a concept that accurately reflects reality. Acting on principle is the best we can do in the moment. This is the place from which we act to live our highest values and realize our most important goals. Remember, we don't act on reality necessarily. We act on what we imagine is reality. The better our grasp of reality, the more effective our actions. To sum it up, value is the end, virtue is the means, and principles are the foundation upon which we act. Here's an example of the framework in action. The core value, financial freedom. The supporting virtue, productivity. The daily principles, material value creation, long-term thinking, continuous learning. The preferred self-identity, the entrepreneur. Daily behaviors, coaching, writing, marketing, strategic planning. Preferred outcome, a monthly income of at least $25,000. Notice how the entrepreneur's daily actions flow directly from their principles: material value creation, long-term thinking, continuous learning, which support their virtue of productivity, which serves their core value of financial freedom. Success can be described simply as integrity. It's living consistent with your highest values. Failure, then, is the lack of integrity, or living inconsistent with your claimed values. True success is acting consistent with your preferred self in the moment of choice. Your preferred self is the most excellent version of yourself you can imagine being in every regard. That is, who you are minus your limiting beliefs and unwanted conditioned behaviors. Failure is failing to take action or living inconsistent with your stated values. Only fearful inaction, that is, what you refrain from doing because of fear, is regrettable. A value voiced yet not acted upon cannot be a true value. It's only a value enacted, that is, a virtue, that is a true value. Many people confuse goals, for example, a certain level of income, a specific relationship, six-pack abs, with values. For example, financial freedom, security, fitness, leading to misaligned actions. Others try to adopt virtues without understanding the underlying principles, resulting in inconsistent behavior. The most common mistake is voicing values you don't actually hold. This creates internal conflict and decision paralysis. Warning signs you are off track: regularly acting against your stated values, feeling conflicted about major decisions, realizing goals that leave you unfulfilled. Every moral value is best expressed as a lifelong practice of virtue. Virtue is the value enacted and is its own reward. Virtue brings the value to life in the very moment it's enacted. In other words, when you choose to exercise virtuous self-control, you can be successful as a matter of choice. Here are 4 virtues and a question to discover how it might apply in your life. Independence, the ability to direct your experience regardless of circumstances or others' opinions. When did you last make a choice based on your own judgment rather than others' expectations? Integrity, the strength of character to act consistent with your standard of personal excellence, regardless of your own emotional turbulence or social pressure. What situation recently tested your commitment to your values? Honesty, the assurance that your choices are based on your understanding of reality in as full a context as possible. Where might you be avoiding an uncomfortable truth? Rationality, the adherence to reason as opposed to emotional thinking for every virtuous choice made. What decision would benefit from more careful reasoning? Here's a practical application framework. Step 1, identify your core values. Ask yourself, what do I most want to attain and or maintain in life? Look beyond surface desires to deeper needs like growth, connection, or creative expression. Step 2, define supporting virtues. For each core value, identify the consistent actions that serve it. If you value growth, your virtue might be a dedicated learning practice. If you value connection, your virtue might be showing up consistently in the lives of those you care about. Step 3, establish daily principles. Create specific guidelines that reflect reality and support your virtues. If a dedicated learning practice is your virtue, your principles might include seek feedback regularly and question assumptions. Step 4, align with your preferred self. Regularly ask, what would my preferred self do in this situation? Then act accordingly. Here are some real-world applications. In a career decision, someone valuing freedom chooses entrepreneurship over a high-paying corporate job, guided by the principle that autonomy enables long-term flourishing. In a relationship conflict, someone practicing justice addresses a friend's harmful behavior directly, guided by the principle that having an uncomfortable conversation is part of being a good friend. In a financial choice, someone valuing security builds an emergency fund before luxury purchases, guided by the principle that preparation prevents crisis. Principled action for values-based living transforms decision-making from reactive to proactive, from conflicted to clear. Every moral value requires the enactment of a virtue. For a life well lived, this becomes a consistent practice right to the end. One final reflection. What one change could you make today to integrate your highest values, your virtues, and your principles? Give that some thought. That's it for today. Catch you next time.